All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of In the Round with Andrew Taylor and Lee. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to introduce you to my right-hand man, the host of an International House of Pancakes, Mr. Lee Tonid.
How
Lee,
you doing today, sir?
How you doing, man?
Man, good. It's good to be back here in the studio with you. You were gone a little bit for a little bit there.
Yeah,
huh?
we'll get to that here in just a minute. I just want to say one thing before we get started. It is May 9th, which is known as Mother's Day.
Yep.
So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and happy Mother's Day to my mom, Tanya. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day to all the Mother's Day, past, present, and future.
Yep, absolutely. So
Enjoy your special day.
So let's get back to what you were talking to. So I was gone for a little bit. I went down to a wedding in Florida, I landed in Tampa and went down to Venice and all that stuff. And it was a really busy 2 days. So,
Yeah, you did that quick, man.
Yeah.
You flew down on Thursday and you came back on Saturday. That's like a rock star kind of lifestyle
it
right
is.
there.
Well, we got a show to do, man.
You gotta,
know.
haul ass, man. Make hay while the sun is
We got to
shining.
do it for the people, man. For you out listening out there, we had to do this show. It's been a while. It's been almost a month, I think, man.
No,
right?
it hasn't been that long.
Oh,
We
it's
did
been
one
a couple weeks
ago. Yeah,
a couple
I was
weeks
gonna
at
say
least.
it hadn't been that long.
At least.
You know, I miss when we go over like 2 weeks. I like being in every couple weeks.
Yeah, it's nice. You get a nice,
Yeah, well, it keeps your chops
I
polished.
do this stuff for a living too, so it's a nice
totally
little break.
understandable,
So
yeah.
but it is nice to be back behind the mic and back here in Scottsdale, Arizona.
the
Beautiful place. I love the
Scottsdale.
desert. Yes, love this place.
Starting to get a little warmer here.
It is.
And
yep.
for you people that live in the desert climate, keep your eyes
Yeah.
open for the little critters that
Yep,
come out in the
scorpions,
summertime.
snakes, all that shit.
Snakes and scorpions.
all the
and
bad shit.
Girls looking for wedding rings.
That too. Danzig.
Don't let that bikini cost you 18 years of payments. No, don't bag on Danzig. He's not
just
having a good
fucking
time
around.
right
No,
now.
I love Glenn. He's awesome. Fucking great guy. But hey, let's get right into it, folks. We're gonna start off. Actually, you know what? I think it's time for a short little musical break. I almost skipped that, but we'll be right back here in just a minute with the funny and odd news segment. So stay tuned, folks. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right into it. We always do a funny or odd news segment, and today we're coming from another source, actually. So let's see how good their stories are.
We got a new sponsor.
Yeah, I can't say the name, but this first story headline reads, and this is coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. So headline reads: Customs woman hid cocaine in her shoes at Atlanta airport.
I saw something. Is that
Did
the
you?
one that she caught? She had like
So,
30 pounds
here
in there.
it
or
is.
something
Here
like
it is. May 4th, a Georgia woman was caught trying to smuggle $40,000 worth of cocaine and multiple pairs of shoes through the Atlanta airport, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Customs officers stopped a 21-year-old on Sunday after she arrived on a flight from Jamaica.
Holy
Damn, man.
Damn, man, I got busted.
That is crazy.
That's Jackie Brown kind
That's
of
a
stuff.
lot of cocaine, dude.
That's a lot of time in jail.
That, too. That's some prison
'Cause
time.
I would imagine when you bring it in, like if you were caught with that amount of cocaine, like going from, say, Los Angeles to Albuquerque.
I bet it's a lot.
I bet there's a big difference in the charges they bring up because, like, okay, you came from a different country.
You're within the nation still at that point.
You broke American laws.
Now you're breaking international laws.
Yeah, you're breaking federal law. I don't know how that works.
It's all bad to begin with. but-
$40,000 worth of blow. What's that got to be? Maybe.
Oh man, I don't even know.
That's got to be
That's
what
a lot.
five? What's a kilo?
You know that stuff? It make you go crazy too. You know?
Yeah, cocaine's that you're making me go crazy.
Yeah, so
what's a kilo?
I don't know, man.
It's called a
Let's get
kilo, right?
Back to the story.
Yeah.
Back to the story. Her bags were inspected, and 7 pairs of shoes were found to have the powdery white substance concealed in the bottoms of their shoes. The drugs were tested, and they tested positive for cocaine, which turned out to be about 3 pounds a total.
Oh, okay, there you go.
That's a lot, dude.
That's over a kilo.
That's a lot. Yeah,
That's a kilo and a half.
That's 1.3 kilos.
Yeah.
So
because a kilo is 2.2 pounds, I believe.
Yeah, so smugglers go through great lengths to conceal drugs from our officers, said Paula Riviera of the agency's Atlanta port director position. So she said in a statement, narcotics interdiction remains a priority of CPB radio and enforcement mission.
Huh.
So one that they take very seriously. So you're going to smuggle drugs, don't smuggle them through Atlanta.
Well, you folks in Atlanta, you're going to have a little tougher time finding some of that devil's downdrift.
You're going to go down there, you get in trouble.
You go down to Jamaica, you're going to get some cocaine, you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble.
They seize on average nearly 3,700 pounds of drugs daily in that port.
Whoa, really? A day?
So see, that's the thing. Like
That's
us
weed.
living here in Arizona, right? Like we get a lot of smuggling coming up through Mexico and stuff. That makes even more sense with like places like Atlanta and Louisiana and shit like that, man, with ports and stuff.
Yeah.
I can imagine there's probably a lot of product coming up through there.
I bet what they
That's pretty amazing.
What they confiscate probably isn't.
I am amazed by the drug trade. I gotta you gotta admit it's pretty impressive some of the stuff
absolutely.
they get away with. You know,
I'm a big enthusiast of
don't use
heroin.
it, just appreciate it.
Don't like to use it, just like to study it, be around it, use it sometimes.
Appreciate it. All right, moving right along to our next story here. You remember those PPP loans they were giving out for the government during all this really bad stuff that the whole
a lot of people that
world
got
went
them.
through.
Yeah.
But here in America, they gave out PPP loans where you could fund your small business and keep operations going,
Keep
or
it
you
on
didn't
your
have to
payroll,
lay
yeah.
people off and stuff like that. All those unfortunate things that come with this stupid crap we're dealing with.
Right.
But this is on. Yeah. All right. Hey, Bill O'Reilly's on the show today. Right on.
Right.
Didn't you get in trouble for touching someone or something?
No, that's not true.
But,
Allegedly.
Allegedly. It's Michael Jackson. All right, let's get right into
Thank you, Montel.
the next story here. Headline reads, Feds, man used fraudulent PPP loan to buy alpaca farm. This is on May 4th also coming out of Boston. So in
geez.
Boston, the owner of a Massachusetts pizza parlor lied about the number of employees he had to fraudulently obtain more than $660,000 in federal coronavirus relief funds. And then used some of the monies to buy and stock an alpaca farm in Vermont. And federal prosecutors are charging him, with fraud. So
Alpaca you in prison.
right? And I'll
So
give you
it sounds like what he did is he had a pizza place.
Yeah,
And
he
he
lied.
told
He
the
lied.
federal government, hey, I got like
he
35
owned like
employees.
Joey's Pizza or whatever.
And there's actually like 4 employees because
Yeah.
a lot of people, pizza places can, take up some employees.
If it's a busy and big one,
a decent sized restaurant, yeah.
A place like Pizza Mania and Whittier probably employs 20, 30 people,
I bet it's
right?
all of
40,
that. Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Because you got shifts.
And you got to the
You can't have a guy
part-timers
come
and
in at
stuff.
8 o'clock in the morning and work till midnight.
Hey, man, you doing everything.
Yeah, and the guy's just like, I can't do it,
What do you think this is?
But what I find the
Domino's?
most interesting in this tale is the guy started an alpaca farm. So
Well, check
in a
this
way,
out.
okay, go ahead. I'll let you
Check
finish
this
the
out.
story.
Dana McIntyre, 57
Oh, I
of
knew
Grafton, of Grafton, Vermont, was arrested Tuesday and charged with wire fraud and money laundering, which is like the same as drug. This is like drug laundering
federal
kind of
offense.
shit.
It's go to
this
jail
is
kind
this
of
is mob
stuff,
kind of
yeah.
shit. So, the U.S. Attorney's fucking office in Boston is charging them, and he is scheduled to appear remotely in the U.S. District Court in Boston later on Tuesday.
I wonder.
We got to follow this for the next
I'd like to
show
see
and
what his defense
happens.
is going to be. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, I wasn't really cutting it with the pizza place. Alpaca is a very, very profitable breed of
I
animals.
guess maybe, but
Maybe he thought I could.
his attorney was reached out for comment on the matter and said,
Was it Joe Camel? The
yeah,
attorney?
right. I just want to say one thing, Smoking Joe.
Smoking Joe.
My client denies the allegations and will have further comment at a later date.
Well, I know quite a few business people that got those.
There's no surprise that's
Those
the
loans.
statement.
Yeah, of course. They're always.
He's got nothing to say right now.
I've got nothing to say. Let me make up something and we'll.
So if you live in Massachusetts or Boston, because we have some listeners there, and McIntyre, who formerly lived in Beverly in Essex, Massachusetts, was the owner of Rasta Pasta Pizzeria in Beverly in April 2020 when he applied for a Paycheck Protection Program loan. But in his application, he falsified an official tax form and claimed the pizza shop had about 50 employees.
50.
Yeah, 50. 50.
Okay.
when records indicated it had fewer than 10. In an effort to inflate the size of the loan he was entitled to.
Yeah.
Now you wonder how many people did this and didn't get caught.
There's a ton of it.
Because you know it's out there.
They say the fraud in that thing is
it's
off
unfortunate.
the hook.
Yeah, and here's
it was a dumb idea to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and hey, man, nobody bailed Studebaker out.
No, it's right. So
it's just an example.
That's a whole different subject.
Yeah, that's we don't kind of do that stuff, but
no, I have my
you
opinions
can think for
on
yourself on that stuff. Yeah, absolutely, everybody does. But to finish up this story, after receiving the loan, he sold the pizza shop and used the money to purchase and upgrade a farm in Vermont to buy several alpacas. And he also bought at least 2 vehicles, including a 1950 Hudson.
Oh, shit. Gotta have a Hudson.
And weekly airtime for a cryptocurrency theme radio show.
You gotta have that.
Oh man.
Yeah, this guy.
Do I know this guy?
It sounds like something I would do.
Yeah. Convicted on both charges.
50 years.
40 years in prison and $750,000 in fines.
That's where they're going to come. That's where he'll be
buried.
That guy will be broke the rest of his life.
Yeah, he'll just get buried in that. So, this is pretty cool. So, this is coming out of Florida, out of Pensacola on May 4th. The headline reads, Florida teen charged as adult in rigged homecoming election.
I saw that. I didn't read it, but I saw it.
So in Pensacola, this is May 4th. What the Florida guys? Come on. A Florida teen accused of rigging a homecoming queen election with her mother is being charged as an adult, prosecutors say. Emily Rose Grover was still 17 when she was arrested in March, and she turned 18 in April. And the state's attorney office in the county that she's being charged in confirmed Tuesday that Grover will be tried as an adult.
There you go. A nice little sting on your CVR there.
Right?
Or your criminal record.
You got a rap sheet now, man.
Yeah, at 18 years old.
Right?
That's a good thing for what?
Right? Yeah. Absolutely nothing. Grover and her mother, Laura Rose Carroll, 50, faces multiple charges, felony charges, stemming from the October homecoming vote at Tate High School in Pensacola. You Florida people sure are a pretentious bunch. I like the way you threw in
the 50 part, because all of a sudden it flashed in front of me of a 50-year-old, some 50-year-old women I know that would be
freaking the fuck out,
living vicariously through their 17-year-old daughters, going, we're going to win this thing. The daughter probably didn't give 2 shits if she won.
Mom, I just want to go to the dance.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that whole college with the movie stars, that whole scandal they had.
Yeah, they deserve to get
they're
busted,
like, look, you guys are worth like $50 million.
You shouldn't have done this.
Why do I have to work?
Yeah.
Why can't I just have the money?
Yeah. Like, dude, seriously. Let's be real here.
Yeah, I'll work. I'll go do philanthropy or something like that.
I'll take care of the estate that you created.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that, that pandas keep getting boners or something.
Whatever the fuck. Yeah. While employed as an assistant principal in Bellevue Elementary School in the same county, her mom accessed the school district's internal system to cast fraudulent votes for her daughter so that she would win. Whenever there's room for corruption, there will always be corruption.
Who said that?
Take a little note at the fucking U.S. election that just passed.
You know who said that? Let's not go there.
I'm just throwing that in there. You guys can't lie a little shady, okay?
The guy that's going to prosecute this lady is going to be like this. You might think you're above the law.
Exactly.
Well, you ain't above mine.
Yeah, don't even dude, he lives here. Don't even make me get him down. If you say his name 3 times, he'll appear.
I've heard that. Yeah. I won't do it.
Oh, no. God,
I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm not doing it. Yeah. Would you want that guy chasing you around? Yeah, you want to be marked for death?
I don't think so.
He's hard to kill.
Yeah. Steven Seagal, folks. But investigators found that, in October, hundreds of votes for the school's homecoming court were flagged as fraudulent.
God, that's terrible.
There were 117 votes from the same IP address. See, this is the thing, man. You can do some shit like this. You gotta cheat. You gotta cheat good, man.
It's just sad. What really is sad about it, I don't give 2 shits about people's homecoming queens or something. But what's sad about it is this is probably the first prom they have in real life for a couple years since this whole stupid thing started.
Well, a year at least.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the first one, it's the second, whatever. And then all these people go out there and legitimately vote, and they're going, "Hey, I'm going to vote for Kelly or Susie."
You want to hear some fucking crazy shit?
And then you got these hyenas. That's what they are.
Well, you want to hear some crazy stuff? Carol remains free. Her mom's out on a $6,000 bond, and the daughter's out on a $2,000 bond. Prosecutors say that the mother and daughter each face a maximum of 16 years in jail for this.
They're not going to get that. But you know what? Her career is over with, I guarantee
definitely out of the school system. Any district, they're not going to hire you.
Oh, no. When you come in there and say, this is the crap I pulled, you deserve it, man.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, if you get caught doing something.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be, I don't know. That's disgusting.
Don't get caught.
That's the whole thing. Just don't get caught. Go the Joe Biden way.
Yeah. Ask that fella. Yeah. Hairy legs. And, idiot.
Don't start.
I know. This isn't a political show, but you want that, go listen to Fox News or whatever.
This is not a political song.
Yeah. So check this out. Here's an interesting story. This will be the last one for the news segment. Headline reads, boy unhurt after taking ride on airport conveyor belt system. This happened on May 2nd out of Minneapolis.
On the baggage claim system?
Yeah. So authorities say a 9-year-old boy who found his way onto the conveyor belt baggage handling system at Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport was not injured, thankfully. So, and airport spokesperson Pat Hogan, no relation to Hulk Hogan, but
brother. Get off the baggage claim, brother. Say your prayers, take your vitamins.
Said the incidents happened on early Saturday afternoon as a group of 20 people were checking their bags for a trip. It's like some Home Alone shit right here.
Yeah, well,
but, Hogan said initially no one in the group noticed the boy was missing.
Of course not.
Yeah, great parents, guys. Jesus Christ. There's 20 of you. Not one of you noticed the guy was missing?
Not one guy could keep an eye on the kid. I'd love to see this family around a swimming pool.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But there was a lot of confusion because there were so many people in the group, he said.
Yeah.
And, yeah, right? What an idiot.
You have a kid. It's your job to watch him.
Guy, you have one job, dude.
Yeah. Somebody, appoint somebody.
They were all checking their bags and putting their own bags on the conveyor, so it took a second for them to realize he was missing. Did you know that feeling? Jesus Christ, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
And, but as soon as they did, the people sprang into action. The police were able to find him quickly. Police found the boy in under 5 minutes.
That's good. So he probably didn't get a very good ride.
Yeah.
And then the little kid's defense, I've always wanted to do that.
So now this whole incident is leading to a review of the baggage system security safeguards to see if more needs to be done to prevent it from happening again.
You know, when you find
parents need to pay attention.
I'll be honest with you. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to hop on one of those and see where it goes. Yeah,
I've seen where they go at McCarran. I've worked there.
Well, yeah, and you can see, and it's a complicated, like that one they built in Denver for that Illuminati airport.
Yeah.
It never worked. They spent like hundreds of millions of dollars on this system. I don't even know if they're using it now because it was supposed to be the most
intricate
up to, and I don't think it ever worked. But when you think about it, that's an interesting, complex system that people use. Because if you go check your bag and you have to check those bags have to be on the. And they mess up occasionally. You know,
absolutely. Yeah,
your luggage doesn't end up where it's supposed to be, but for the most part,
it's pretty
they're over 90%, which is
pretty spot on. Yeah, and I wonder how that is for international. Even you wonder.
Yeah, I bet the numbers are close, man.
You know, it's pretty amazing, and when you think about it, how streamlined we have traveling now.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Have you ever lost any luggage?
Nope.
Me either. I've never had my luggage.
I always carry mine too.
I did this one time.
I don't usually check my shit.
I'm a proponent of checking my bags.
I will if they let me, if it's free.
Yeah, if it's Southwest, that's why I like flying Southwest.
If American
plug.
Yeah, if American will do it too, usually.
But I don't mind carrying. In fact, I wouldn't be against everybody mandatory check your bags because it would make getting off the plane a lot quicker.
That is true. It does. It really does. Yeah.
But I at one time at the airport, I actually left the airport and got halfway home and said, "Oh shit!" And I had to turn around and go back to baggage claim and get my bag.
Was it sitting there?
I just forgot.
Was it sitting there?
Oh yeah. No worries. Yeah.
All right, folks, we're going to head off to our second musical break, and stay tuned. We're going to come right back with just the facts and plenty more of In the Round with you. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, folks. All right, let's get right into the Just the Facts segment. And today's Just the Facts segment is going to be all about the month of May. So this is all kinds of different May facts that's in here. And the first one, this actually just passed a few days ago, about 4 or 5 days ago. May is a special time for Star Wars fans worldwide, and always a good reason to rewatch the movies, because May the 4th is celebrated as Star Wars Day, due to the way the date sounds similar to May the Force. You know, so, I mean...
You want to hear something funny? My social media was lit up with all that, and I had no idea what they were talking about.
Really?
No, and then, I mean, it took me a few minutes to figure out, because I'm not a complete dullard.
Yeah.
But I was going, what is this May the 4th be with you? Because I associated it with, like, April 20th, which everyone knows is Hitler's birthday, and that's why they celebrate. But
no, it is not.
What with the pot thing, you know, on the 420?
Yeah. Fucking hopheads.
Yeah, but I thought maybe because my brother has been posting. Yeah. Like, have you seen what he's been doing with the April 5th, the 502 big block Chevy Day?
Oh, yeah, there you go, yeah.
I thought it was another thing like that, but I didn't know that was a real thing, the May the 4th thing.
Yeah. So moving right along here, our next fact about the month of May, the Empire State Building opened its doors on May 1st, 1931. At the point of its construction, it held the record for being the tallest building in the world. Many other sky-high constructions has since dwarfed it, but it's still an awe-inspiring feature in the New York City scape. But check this out. Did you also know that, you know, it was built during the height of the Depression and all that? Yep. The observation deck kept that place alive because the actual offices weren't being leased out.
They had no occupancy in it. I think they say 12%.
And I think it was 10 cents or something to go up there on the observation deck. Or it was something like that, a penny or something.
I've read that. I've seen the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
What was always fascinating to me about that Empire State Building whole thing there was when I was a kid, people used to say you could go to the top of the Empire State Building and drop a penny, and when it landed on the ground, it would crack the cement.
Yeah.
And it was like, I always believed that, and then as I got older and wiser, it was like, that doesn't really happen. But I always thought, well, what if people just start throwing pennies off?
Right.
All the cement would be cracked around the place.
So we got another fact here about May. May is a pretty good month for U.S. presidents in general in history. Every other month of the year, at least one U.S. president has died, but never in May.
Well, that's
pretty interesting,
fact,
right? That's pretty crazy. They've all managed to avoid the month of May.
Not out of the 40.
None
what
of
are we
them.
at? 46 now?
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 40,
it was 47.
Well, Trump was 45, so Biden
he
is 46.
Was 46.
No, he was 45.
So, Biden's 46.
And so Biden is 46.
If you count it.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's pretty good. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, that's a lot of people that didn't die in May.
Yeah, so here's another one. You know, the birthstone for the month of May is emerald. Mm-hmm. Emeralds are a type of stone called beryl, and they typically range from a deep sea green to a lighter color. Emeralds are symbols of fertility and rebirth.
And a beautiful stone.
They are. They're cool.
They are a pretty stone. What's I think a blue one is a topaz. That's a good looking one too. Yeah. So I'm an amethyst.
You know, May actually has two birth flowers too: the lily of the valley and the hawthorn. The hawthorn flower is a symbol of hope, while the lily of the valley represents return of happiness and sweetness.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. No, it's just these are all just interesting facts of the month of May. You know, something we figured we'd do, and it's kind of a unique thing. May has some pretty interesting month-long observances. In the UK, May is National Pet Month and National Smile Month.
Nice.
In the US, May is actual National Burger Month,
Ooh,
Older Americans Month, and National Military Appreciation Month.
Why did you point at me when you said older Americans?
You're an older American.
Hey. You know what my father used to say? April showers brings May flowers. And you know what May flowers brings?
What?
Pilgrims.
There you go. So, many famous people were born in May, such as Mark Zuckerberg, Karl Marx. Oh, geez.
Which Mark's brother was he?
Yeah, right. Clint Eastwood. Go ahead.
Oh, nice.
Make my day.
Nice.
Wes Anderson.
Nice.
JFK. Glad he's dead. Queen Victoria.
What year is it?
Catherine the Great. So May is a pretty interesting month, and it's the 5th month of the year. So
hey,
you might as well give it a shout.
We kind of overlooked because of the big May the 4th be with you thing.
Yeah,
I kind of got overshadowed by Cinco de Mayo this year.
It did.
You know what? You were out of town, right?
Yes, I was. Yep.
And I didn't even go do anything. And normally I'll stop in and have a cocktail or something somewhere on Cinco de Mayo. That's weird.
So one more fact of May, and we'll close it out and get right into today's topic. May used to have a very different name in Old English. Back then, the month was referred to as the month of 3 milkings. Unsurprisingly, this meant that during this month, you could milk your cows up to 3 times per day.
Huh. I wonder what that was attributed to.
I know some guys that milk their cows up to like 10 times a day.
I don't know. I've never milked a cow.
Didn't you just go to a dairy farm?
I actually did. Yeah, I went to a couple of them.
Pretty crazy, huh?
They don't hand milk them anymore. There's a machine. They hook a little machine
little
up
suction
to
tube.
Yeah, they do, and they do like hundreds of cows at a time.
It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty amazing.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
it is.
Right on.
And I like the smell of manure, so it was.
Hey, there you go. All right, well, let's get right into today's topic. So if you've seen by the clicking on the episode, today is about method acting. And Lee actually came up with most of the stuff, the info on this. So I'm going to let him take the reins on this and kind of hang back. And let me hand it off here to the host of an International House of Pancakes, Mr. Lee Tonin.
I was almost the host. I was the assistant host.
Please welcome Jesus Christ.
Well, thank you, Montel. Well, I was doing a little. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm into acting and I'm into
movies and
film and media.
I mean, who isn't?
I'm a patron of the arts in general.
Yes,
you know.
absolutely.
So just to coin an old funky phrase, but
the theater.
Long live the theater. But in the thespian world,
yes.
I've always had kind of.
It's a very interesting world.
Yeah, it is. And especially the different methods that they use because people have been acting since the dawn of time. I mean,
that was the entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, early Greece, and
you wonder where it really, really started. Like, because when did cavemen, kind of jump up and start?
They probably did.
Yeah, there had to be some form of entertainment.
We may want to do a show on something like that.
Yeah,
the history of it. But on this particular show that we're doing, I took a specific style of acting that is called method acting. And people say, well, what is, because it's kind of hard to differentiate.
Now explain method acting to the listeners.
Okay, yeah, I've got that here.
If someone's tuning in that doesn't really understand.
What method acting is, as opposed to surface acting or character acting, is a method actor is when an actor meticulously researches their character to gain insight into what it is like to be the subject they are portraying. So what you could say is like, instead of you coming into a shoot or something like that and they give you a script, like say you were playing Mrs. Cunningham on the Happy Days, I guarantee she
I think it'd be Mr. C, but okay.
Okay, well, Mr.
Fonzie.
C or Potsy or whatever the role you
I don't want to be Ralph Malph.
You got to be careful with the gender stuff these days. But you would basically take your script and they would say, he's a small town boy from where they live, Wisconsin,
something like that.
A small town Wisconsin teenager. Go, and you would say you would put Andrew Tonin's take on it. Yeah, you're.
Now Lee's telling you all this because he's been in acting classes.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go back again too because with the pandemic.
What do they call that? Not ad lib, but like
improvisation.
Improv. Yeah, he goes to improv classes.
I love it. It's so much fun. I'm telling you guys right now, if you ever have an opportunity to do it, and even if
I just kind of want to go and hang out and watch it.
Well, that's fun too. But once you watch it, Andrew, you're going to want to be involved in it because you're like me. You're a spotlight guy.
Yeah.
When people are getting attention, you want to take some of it.
Oh, totally.
And nobody likes to hear the sound of their own voice more than us.
Yeah.
So it works out really well.
That's why we do this.
But anyways, method acting is an expansion of the Russian theater practitioner. I'm going to have a little trouble saying this.
Okay.
Konstantin Stanislavakis.
Okay.
He had a thing that he called the system.
Okay, yeah.
And prior to him coming up with this system, and this is you're talking in the 1700s or something like that, people just surface act. They would say, hey, portray a man pulling a cart or something, and you see that. But he came up with it for actors to put into their roles more sincerity, to feel the emotion and the empathy
to be involved
of a character. And people are thinking because I always thought, well, doesn't any actor have to do that to play a role? Say like when Tom Cruise played Pete Mitchell in Top Gun. Because I'd seen Tom Cruise in interviews, and he'd be like, well, before I took on the role, I hung out with these guys that flew fighter jets.
Yeah.
And I hung out in Miramar, California, and I flew in a fighter jet.
Yeah.
When I did Days of Thunder, I hung out with a NASCAR team, and I drove a NASCAR.
Yeah.
That's not really method acting, because that's all that is. Every actor is going to probably do some kind of research on the role they're playing.
Oh, absolutely.
And I always thought, well, look at the roles like Clint Eastwood and Charles Bronson and John Wayne. They're not considered method actors. They're surface actors.
Yeah.
They said you're a scruffy cowboy on the plains, or you're a cop. Clint Eastwood didn't go home and live
as
for
Dirty
6
Harry.
months in a hotel in San Francisco shooting people at night like Charles Bronson did or something. I actually killed 4 or 5 people before I made this movie, Bob.
Got a real good feel for it.
But what I wanted to do is just try to got a real good feel for it now. That's another thing I've also wondered a lot about. I wonder how many.
Hey, Charles Bronson's wife.
Yeah, it was nice. Scoot on over here. I wonder how many of these actors, especially the ones that get deep into it. And I picked up 4 of them that I wanted to bring up.
Okay,
but
right.
How many of them, when they got into character, I wonder how hard it was for them to break. Because I'm going to go through some of these, and you'll get a kick out of it.
You know who's one, and I don't know if you have them on your list yet, but I've just had some mention real quick. We'll delve into more of it. But Will Ferrell did that with Ron Burgundy, that Anchorman
that makes
character. They said I never met actual Will. I met Ron Burgundy, and he'd be at restaurants like that and stuff. So I get it.
No, I didn't have him on my list. Yeah. But that's a great example that you're using, because
he won't break it.
I seen him do a Letterman or Leno show or something as Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the quintessential idea of doing that style of acting.
You're going to let it. So, I don't want to jump ahead of you, so go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
But like I said, some of the examples of actors who have and still perform the method style of acting and some of the iconic roles that they have created is, I got to start off with probably one of my favorite, which is the role of the Joker in Batman: The Dark Knight Rises.
Heath Ledger.
The Dark Knight.
Heath Ledger.
Was played by Heath Ledger. And there's a lot of discussion about who played the Joker best.
And that's the thing with Batman stuff in general. It's really hard to do that kind of stuff.
Well, it's like who's the greatest guitar player.
Personal preference.
Yeah, it's so much personal preference.
Because we talked about this the other day, and as far as Batmans go, I grew up with like the George Clooney one and stuff, which is hated. And I get it. It's just
but there's probably fans of that Batman
kids
too.
That were my age.
Because that movie had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
Exactly.
It had. I didn't care for. I thought the movie was kind of weak. But anyways,
as far as the method acting goes with Heath Ledger, another great one with him, Lords of Dogtown. He played Skip, the surf shop owner. Yeah. Great role for that guy.
Well, he also did Brokeback Mountain too, which is
huge.
Yeah. And then he did the one with Mel Gibson. I can't remember what it was called.
He's done so much work.
We Were Soldier. That wasn't We Were Soldier. I can't remember the name of the movie.
He was a great actor. Rest in peace.
Absolutely. And all I focused on, because I love this role and I love this character.
There was a lot of controversy over that role.
Well, I learned some stuff studying this, and I think you're going to find this interesting. And I spent a little more time on Heath Ledger because I like the role so much, and I like the movie.
He did a great job. Yeah.
And I'm not taking anything away from Cesar Romero or Jack Nicholson or anybody else. Anybody else that portrayed him, because they all did their own spin on it. And I guarantee
that's your own delivery.
I guarantee Joaquin Phoenix method acted that role. And I didn't care for the movie, but I guarantee he did.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyways, he locked himself in a hotel for almost 2 months, creating creating the character of the Joker. He kept a diary for 2 months, and in his diary, he created lists of subjects that he thought that the villainous Joker might find humorous.
Yeah.
And some of those things were, and this is kind of weird. This is Heath Ledger, not Lee Tonan's opinion.
And here's the thing too, is in this one, Heath Ledger, everyone needs to remember with the whole Joker's character, it's all about the punchline with Batman and stuff. Like, that's the whole Joker.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's the whole idea.
Well, as them being nemesis, the take I've always gotten on any Joker, Dark Knight, Bruce.
He lives for Batman.
Yeah, he's the opposite side of the coin of Batman. He doesn't want to kill Batman.
No, he wants to play with him.
Yeah, he just wants to play. He hates
exactly.
Some people just want to watch it burn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. But some of the subjects that he found humorous, this is Heath Ledger as the Joker, not Heath Ledger the human being.
Is that Sean Connery a second ago?
No, that was Michael Caine. But you know the difference? Don't you remember the line out of The Dark Knight?
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Some people don't care about money. They just want to watch the world burn.
It sounds like Sean Connery.
Yeah, they were real good friends. But AIDS was something that he thought the Joker might find humorous.
Yeah.
Landmines.
Okay.
And geniuses suffering from brain damage.
Yeah.
So in his ledger, or not in Ledger's ledger, I guess you could call it, or his diary or journal, or whatever you want to call it, he kept a lot of pictures of scenes from A Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
He did a lot of writing about chaos. You know, every time he would start a story, and he would just go into chaos, and then he would scroll, or what do you call it? Scribble.
Yeah.
You know, what do you call that when you write pictures and stuff, doodle, or whatever it's called. That's what he did. And through the whole shooting of that show, of that movie, when he wasn't filming a scene, he was referring back to that journal to go back into that mindset. Now, here's something I didn't know. I was always under the impression that when he did that role, that he stayed in character throughout the whole filming of the production.
He did?
No, he didn't. In his breaks, he would ride skateboards. And he would smoke cigarettes and play with the crowd.
Yeah, but the other story we heard the other day said that he even had presents delivered and stuff.
Oh yeah,
as the Joker.
Oh, he did, and he did, and so he would send other actors notes, saying, "Hey," and he would sign it Joker and stuff like that. But he did break character. Which, moving on to our next one, in which I said a well-deserved after death award that he got for that movie. It was a very good role for him.
Yeah.
There's another guy, and I'm just going to spend a little time with him because this guy's, if I tried to go through this guy's biography, we could be here all day. But Robert De Niro. Which a lot of, and this is what kind of, I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about De Niro in his later years, you know, with him getting kind of political and stuff like that, which is fine. He's welcome to his opinion. But no one can deny that Robert De Niro is a terribly, terribly talented actor. I mean, he is very good.
He is, but I'm going to be honest with you. My opinion on him is he is kind of a one-trick pony.
Well, it's because all you've ever seen is a lot of the gangster movies.
Yeah, but as far as the Italian stuff goes and all that, even in Meet the Parents, he still played that hard ass.
That's kind of his shtick. But when he did Taxi Driver, which I don't know if you know, Taxi Driver is a Vietnam vet that is living in New York City. It's where Jodie Foster got her
insomnia.
Yeah, exactly. But so Jodie Foster was the first. She was like 12 years old when she did
something like that.
She played a prostitute, which was controversial on its own
at that time. Yeah.
But anyways, he actually drove a cab 12 hours a day in New York City to get into the role, and he did it overnight. You know, he did the graveyard shift so he could live like an insomniac.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of. And then when he did Raging Bull, which is actually that kind of might change your opinion of De Niro and his. Because De Niro had his older stuff. It wasn't like Eastwood, where Eastwood kind of stayed Clint Eastwood all the way through his career. You know, it was Clint Eastwood the cowboy, Clint Eastwood the detective, Clint Eastwood the drug smuggler, Clint Eastwood the rodeo rider, whatever.
The baseball agent.
Or the baseball scout, or whatever. It was always kind of, this is Clint Eastwood playing a baseball scout.
Hanging out with an orangutan.
Where De Niro had a little more versatility in his roles on that stuff. That was kind of neat.
Yeah.
But in Raging Bull, he actually fought in 3 boxing matches. He actually got out there and fought a boxer 3 times to get used. And I guess there's no way to really get used to a role, no better way or more realistic way. I don't know if it's the better way than getting your head pounded in for 3 minutes over
actually
9 rounds.
Yeah,
so
totally.
My hat's off to him on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So moving on to my next guy here, and I think you'll get a kick out of this.
Okay,
is Christian Bale.
Oh yeah.
Which was another actor in the Batman trilogy that they did.
Now, what about American Psycho?
I've got that here.
Yeah.
In American Psycho,
crazy.
He portrayed a gentleman by the name of Patrick Bateman.
Yes.
And if people out there have never seen the movie, it's worth seeing. It's a very, very graphic movie. But it was only his second outing as a real big production film,
Yeah.
And when he did it, his psyche on it, or his take on the character of Patrick Bateman was, this is a guy who everything about him is flawless. And it was. It comes through in the production.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of those movies you have
dresses good, looks good.
Yeah, that's one of those.
Good job, everything. Yeah, good place to live.
He's trying to fit in. He's psychotic, is what he is. Where he's a sociopath or a sociopath or whatever. But what he did in that is he worked out and got himself in good physical shape. and then he had his teeth all straightened because he said, I loved my real teeth. He goes, but I had gaps in my front teeth. And he goes, I didn't think Patrick Bateman would be a guy that would let his teeth look like that. Mm-hmm. So he had all his teeth redone to where these, and he did that. And if you ever get a chance to see American Psycho, like I said, it comes across as it's really neat because he made his appearance take and match the narcissistic personality that Patrick Bateman is portrayed as on the movie itself. So it is really, it's a great role that he did.
Yeah.
A couple years after that, he did a movie called The Machinist.
Okay, yeah.
Which I've never seen it, but I read up on it, and what it was about a guy that was an insomniac who was starting to question, a slender man who was an insomniac that was starting to question his own. He was losing grip on reality. He was losing his mind.
Yeah.
And for the role, Christian Bale lost 65 pounds.
Wow.
It brought him down to like 98 pounds or just under 100 pounds. Yeah, and I've seen pictures of the portray of it, and it's really bad looking.
Wow.
But he did that all just to get this role to make it look like he was moving and yeah. he lived that style. I don't know, you're aware of how hard it is to lose, and it's easier to gain weight than it is to lose weight,
Everyone is.
So
yeah.
I mean that's I don't know how that is on your physical body.
Not good,
but it's probably not good. And then when Batman Begins started shooting 6 months later.
Yeah.
He put on 100 pounds.
So you went up to 198 or whatever.
Yeah, and then when he got to England to film Batman Begins, they said, man, you just look so big. They actually had him start running and working out to thin down some because they said Batman's not a roid rage looking guy.
You're too bulked up. Dude.
Yeah, they just said you're too big. And so he lost an extra 25 pounds and got himself into the physical shape it took to portray that Batman character, in which I love the first Batman and the second one. The third one was kind of hanky, but I thought the first and second ones were just excellent movies. So moving on, we have to throw a female in there, and this is to me one of the greatest method acting things I've ever seen. And this was a weird movie. I didn't really care much for this movie because it was just very dark and it was very convoluted kind of. To me it wasn't a terrible movie. It just wasn't my type of movie. Was Charlize Theron. And she did a movie called Monster, and it's based on a serial killer named Aileen Wuornos. Theron went through all kinds of stuff with this. She shaved her eyebrows off. She colored her hair. This is big for a woman to do something like this because you got to remember, a woman actress, a lot of things they do depends on their appearance.
Yeah, totally.
So they and when I first saw that movie, somebody had recommended it to me at work and said, you need to see this movie. I know you like serial killers and serial killer movies. And I was like, well, that's weird that you know that about me, but right on. Mm-hmm. And I watched it and I was like, and she's one of the most beautiful women on the planet Earth. And I saw that movie and I was like, Jesus Christ, how did,
Yeah, she looks crazy.
So they gave her prosthetic teeth and they actually made her look like the actual person.
Yeah, totally.
And she went through all that. Now, she didn't go through the living in a van or anything like that. But but this is an interesting little factoid on that is she had to do some voiceover work in the movie where she wasn't seen. So she didn't get in character to do the voiceover work. And when they were editing the movie, they said, you can tell from the visual scenes when you're in the scene of the movie, from the voiceovers, it's almost like two different people talking.
Yeah.
She goes, that makes sense, So they had to go back and reshoot all the voiceover stuff to match the actual visual shots.
Yeah, she had to speak like that.
Well, she's from South Africa, so she's got a slight accent, which is a beautiful accent, the South African accent, And She wasn't in character, so she didn't pull herself into that emotional state, into that place where you need to go to have those emotions, those raw, open, uncompartmentalized emotions. And so they said, you need to do something else, man. So they made her go back and get in character and redo it. So
that makes sense.
Now a fun one, and it'll be my last one. This one I think you're going to get a kick out of. Uh-oh. Here's one I don't think you're going to like.
Oh, no.
And this is kind of... I don't know what people's feelings are about Sean Penn.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple things that he's been in that I've really liked. I've seen some stuff where it's just like, why?
What is this?
But undeniably my favorite role Sean Penn ever did was his second movie, which was Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, definitely. Spicoli,
and Sean Penn literally lived Jeff Spicoli for almost 3 months.
Yeah, it makes sense.
What he did is
kick-ass life.
Oh yeah. Well, he came into it, and everybody had to refer to Sean Penn as Jeff.
Yeah.
He wouldn't answer to Sean or Mr. Penn. He would only answer to Spicoli and Jeff.
Yeah.
And anybody that talked to him or corresponded with him or directed him or anything had to yeah. And it was so funny because through the whole production, he wouldn't wear anything but Vans tennis shoes.
That's cool.
Now, you have to remember something about that. And I'm a little older than you because I'm your dad.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't work the other way.
Yeah.
That movie put Vans off the wall, that product, on the map.
Oh, totally.
That's what made that product.
And having the checkered board Vans and all that.
When Vans
they even showed the box and stuff.
When I was a little kid, Van Dorn and Norwalk, we used to go get shoes there. They could make shoes for you, but they were just cheap tennis shoes. They were cheap. They weren't really even tennis shoes. They were just shoes. Mm-hmm. And then they come up with the off the wall, which, in a real quick note here, rest in peace to Paul Van Dorn.
Passed away.
Died last week. He passed at 93.
Yep, rest in peace.
Yeah, we changed the shoe industry.
I've worn Vans my whole life,
Another interesting factoid about Vans. You know, if you take a pair of Vans off the walls and throw them up, they'll always land on the soles.
Really?
That's what they say.
Well,
you might want to try it someday. You got some Vans, right? Hey, man, you got your Vans on?
Yeah, I always got Vans, man.
But he did that through the whole production of the movie. Wow. He wore Vans on. I just makes you wonder if he ever kept any pairs or anything like that.
You hope so, like a pair of checkerboard ones that he wore or whatever.
Yeah, and so, like I said, that was just a few of them there. And I know there's a lot more of them.
You know, one person I wanted to mention that you had mentioned to me the other day as we were preparing for this show was Anthony Hopkins with Richard Nixon's role. When he did the movie Nixon. Mm-hmm. You said one of his advisors had mentioned, like, man, you even have some of his mannerisms down and stuff.
Well, what they did is they hired a former aide to Richard Nixon.
It makes sense,
and Anthony Hopkins for a month before, what they call pre-production.
Yeah.
Before they actually go into shooting. There's a bunch of different stages of production that they go into before they film. And, they do, script reads and they do post-production or pre-production and all that kind of good stuff. But he goes, by like the second or third week, the aide would come in and he goes, man, it's eerie. He goes, once they put him in makeup, once they put him in character makeup, they said, yeah, man. They said, I could see that, you know. And then another honorable,
it starts to take on a real life.
And there's a whole lot of people like I know most people don't consider Sylvester Stallone like a method actor.
Yeah.
But he did a movie called Copland, where he actually put on like 50 pounds of weight.
Wow.
And
that's unusual for him.
And it's actually a really decent movie because he kind of plays a sullen kind of character as to where most of the time in Sylvester Stallone movies, he is like he's Rocky or he's Rambo or he's usually a very bright character. And this, he's kind of it's
somber.
Somber character. Then he's surrounded by Harvey Keitel and Ray Liotta and a bunch of corrupt cops, and it's actually a really good movie.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, and then some of the other ones that you get into, Will Ferrell was a good example that you brought up as Ron Burgundy, because you can't imagine that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Will Ferrell's kind of a slapstick kind of guy.
He seems like that kind of guy that would do that. Like, hey,
absolutely.
But spend the next 3 months as Ron Burgundy.
What's interesting is when I start researching this is the effect that this method of acting has on some actors is pretty amazing. Because they have to go into the way that these actors get to these places to see. People say, well, how do these actors make themselves cry and stuff like that? They go to a raw emotion that's and they're compartmentalized in their mind somewhere. It may be a death of a loved one or something that can bring up, and they have the emotional ability to do that. And I've always found that amazing.
Yeah.
How people can do that. It's talent, yeah. And there's times like what a lot of people said about Heath Ledger when he did the Batman role is that he got himself into some pretty dark places in his mind.
Yeah. Absolutely. You could totally see that.
Some of the side effects of going psychologically into those places are fatigue and weight loss and depression. Insomnia and they say he accidentally overdosed taking sleeping pills because of the insomnia that was caused by because he died 6 months before that movie was released.
Yeah.
But
I remember when all that happened.
Yeah. So like I said, I just don't want to try to explain the whole theory here to everybody, but it's something that what I like to do when I'm watching a movie or a any kind of acting is you look at it and you try to figure out what method is this guy taking, to do this in, And once you start learning more about it, it's kind of weird because you look at it in a different light. You're kind of like if you're watching a TV show, like next time you watch a TV show that you like, say it's almost everything is so reality show anymore that it's hard to say. Like, what's the one you like with Tim Allen? Tool Time?
Oh, Home Improvement?
Home Improvement, yeah. Just watch it, and then instead of watching what they're saying and all that, watch how they're delivering their lines.
Yeah, how they act.
And you can see it. You can be like, yeah, this guy is reading a script. And not that it's bad. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and then when you do watch something that has a little more in-depth into it, it's kind of like, yeah, I can see where that guy went, and put that effort in there. But
all right, everybody. Well, we're going to wrap it up for the day. It was a great topic, great show for the day. And we hope everybody enjoyed it. And check us out on social media. You can find Lee on Facebook at Lee Tonin. You can find me on Instagram at Andrew Taylor Radio. And you can follow the show on Facebook and everything, all the updates, all the news. We're going to be launching an online store soon with all kinds of merchandise. We're getting all that stuff going. So
yeah, fun, exciting.
We've just hit 140 cities and over 30 countries. Yeah. So thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. And take care of your friends. Take care of your family. Everyone have a great night, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Good night.